Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this is going to be the start of a big project here. This is the new AMT 64 Chevelle Malibu SS, and I was very interested in this kit. And talking with Mark at Hobby Nut Models, I asked him to get me this kit. He'd gotten a few and sold them, but he said these are not very good sellers for him. And as he's experienced the Craftsman Series, which it says right on the box, this is a curb style kit, and there's no engine in here. And for the price of what some of these go for, as far as kit goes, and to not have an engine, I know it's hotly debated. Many people want to know why, or if it's going to cost the same amount of money, why doesn't it? And I understand that, but AMT, the owners at Round Two, who invested and redid the tooling on this to make this kit basically available again, even though it's really all new tooling compared to the original kit, which is long gone. But I have some very interest in this car, and I want to build a 64 Chevelle, but for some reason, I have not done that. So Mark, he did order some of these kits for me, and then I got this kit in. And when I showed it to you guys in my stash ads a few months back, many of you asked different questions, and they would love to see me build this. I want to build this, and asked me what my plans are. Well, I haven't finalized my plans, but a lot of you brought up some great questions. And being a car that I want to build, it's really pretty much the only Chevelle from 64 to 72 that I have not built, even though I bought some of them over the years and wanted to build it, but for whatever reason have not. Going so far as this show, I'll show you the contents of this. But this is a 64 Chevelle SS, pretty much the original body of this. But this is a resin one from Missing Link. Bought this 15, maybe even 20 years ago. It's one of his earliest kits. And but that's how long I've had it, but I've never built it. And I didn't really start it. Collected parts for it, but I'll show you what's in here before I get too far. But at the same time, I picked up a 64 Chevelle wagon rebuilder, picked up a 64 El Camino. So all of these kits are related, but did not have an original rebuilder of the SS hardtop. But one of the questions I got a few of you that asked me, when it comes to building this kit, can it be combined with this chassis to make a much more detailed kit? And good question. My quick looking at this kit and the body dimensions and everything, this is 125th. This is also 125th. It really seems like it can be done. I'll get more into that one. And, I had some other thoughts, on what to do with it, which is why I kind of threw all the rest of these kits up here. You can use the engine from this kit, I believe, which would pretty much drop right in. Some people ask me about using this engine. So I think it can. And, the 64 Chevelle these are pretty much the same kit other than the body differences and the year differences, because this kit turned into this kit. But these haven't been available in a while. But this has a big block engine in it. And I don't, the 64 Chevelle did not have a big block in it. And so I want to put a small block in it, of course. And I think the one out of the 64 Impala would work really well. Did some quick looking at this kit. Now, this is my older version from 2000, 2001. And I thought this kit was in great shape. And I was going to build a stock 64 Impala lowrider. This one was sealed. But I ordered a whole nother kit from Hobby Nut Models of the newest tool, box art right here. And was going to use that, but I pulled this one out just to see what the differences are between this kit and the newest kit. And there really wasn't much differences, but this is the one that I kind of showed you guys that had some tire melt damage and some other damage to it. But since I really only want an engine from one of these kits, I decided I'll leave that kit alone, use it for the lowrider that I would like to build one of these days, and I'll take the engine out of this kit. So Hobby Nut Models did sponsor also the newest release of this, but since I have this one with the damaged body and damaged chrome, I'm taking the engine from this one. It's the same engine, but it's a nice small block. And I had a few other thoughts on which engine to use, but I'm going to plan on taking the motor for this, possibly using the chassis from this in the engine compartment. And the other thought I had was my other Z16, I had cut the roof off to make a convertible out of it. I was using that body to compare the Malibu bodies to see if the chassis would fit in. And so this kit is another mint kit that I haven't even opened or taken any parts out. But one of my friends had this kit, and I was just we were talking Chevelles and hanging out, as he's a Chevelle owner and I'm a Chevelle owner. So we were just sitting together, Jim and I, we were talking Chevelles and talking projects and, model kits and stuff. And I told him that I had this thought, and, I was going to possibly start looking for another one of these 65 Chevelle kits. And I mentioned this in the stash size video that this kit came in. He had a bunch of these. So I ended up getting this kit to pirate the parts from to try and fit it. So, I got this from him. And, I had this for a 64 Chevelle, or actually 64 GTO to make a convertible out of it. So that's the only reason I had this was the convertible parts. But I did find out this convertible boot is narrower and doesn't fit the width of the body. But in doing so, I did check my 65 GTO kit, box art right over here. And while those are fairly plentiful, it's a much wider convertible boot. So I've got some of those coming from a friend that hopefully I'll get to pick them up this weekend. And we'll see about possibly cutting the roof off and making a 64 Chevelle convertible. So that's kind of where my plans are. But here, I'll show this. And I'm going to do some comparison videos. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are and what your plans are, or you would like to see me do with it. But let's just open this bag up real quick and just get this body out, since I haven't opened this one. But here's my first clues into this body. We'll just put this kind of back together. Keep this stuff out of the way. But here's the 64 and the 65. You look at the wheel openings are they line up. They're right there. Okay. The overall length, pretty much right there. This one hangs out a little bit farther forward. We'll see where the wheels line up. Overall length, pretty much the same. You put the wheel wells in there. It's amazing. And even the width of the bodies, when you kind of put them together, you can see they're really, really close. So the chassis looks like it's going to drop in there. The biggest factor right here is this engine compartment. Going to have to cut that out, try and fit it to this, and fit that. So that's where some of the issues might be, and we'll see what happens there. But, for other comparisons, this 64 Chevelle from Kevin and Missing Link, I'll get more into this one. I'll do a deeper dive into this stuff in another video. I'm just kind of showing you right now. This body, that's a 65. It's the original, okay? And it's pretty much, dead on. You can see some of the differences that they did. But he used the engine compartment. I'm not sure who mastered this for Kevin. But after, knowing and figuring this out, that's the engine compartment from the Revell 67 Chevelle SS. 396 car. So I'm wondering if there's a reason why this one was used instead of this one. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the firewall or how well it fit versus the other one. I do have the 65 or 67's chassis in here. This kit, when I looked through it, because I haven't had this out in years, there were some things I was wondering, and between the two, but never collected a motor for that one. So that's kind of, I guess, why that one stalled when I looked into it. But there's a lot of interesting things looking at these two. But I'm wondering if there is a reason why they went with the 67 versus the 65. But I don't know at the time when this was mastered how easily available that 65 kit was versus the 67 kit. But anyway, It's kind of where I'm at with this at the moment. But let me know what you guys think of this and this project here as I start to um, dig into everything and figure out what I'm going to do. If I'm going to, cut the engine compartment from that, start trying to fit it into this, try and keep this in here because I want to keep this in there, but maybe, clear it out a little bit more to where it fits in. But I've got all of these alignment pegs and stuff that fit the chassis and the interior tub. So I'm a little worried about messing with those versus this one, which doesn't have any of that stuff. And this interior is just kind of all over the place and, doesn't really have much to actually locate it, but they're there. But anyway, which isn't a challenge, but intimidating at the time versus, this whole engine compartment, getting the chassis to fit. But, this is going to be an interesting project. And then if I go so far as even whack the roof off and turn it into a convertible, um, mainly because I already have this one as a hardtop. Maybe I'll build this one. I do want to build this one, but I'll have to source another motor. But we'll see how much work this ends up becoming and how deep it actually goes. Because sometimes you get one of these projects going, you never really know how far it's going to go and how successful it's going to be. But you got to try to find out this stuff. So anyway, I'll stop here. I'm going to do some comparison videos comparing this kit to the Chevelle El Camino and the wagon to show you the differences and some of the stuff, because this kit is pretty much mint even though it's the El Camino. There's the wagon. There's some differences there. That one's a rebuilder. And then, actually the wagon's over here. This is the wagon, but it's a rebuilder. But it's got, engines from the 65 and a lot of the parts that can be built. But it's just been sitting for years as well. Hasn't been built. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in and subscribing and all your comments. I really want to hear them on this one and see what you guys think of this project. And check out our sponsor, Hobby Nut Models. I'm pretty sure he's wiped out of these kits right now. But if any of you guys get interested in this new kit and see how this one goes together and how this project turns out, this is going to be pretty fun. But and hopefully it turns out like a lot of my builds, where it looks like it just went together and it's factory stock and you can just buy the kit. But sourcing parts from 3 or 4 kits, this is going to be a big project, but a lot of fun. Anyway, you guys, thank you for all your support and everything, and let me know what you think, and check out Hobby Nut Models, of course, our sponsor. You guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.